Brandon Moreno is back after a small hiatus, and he is fighting Amir Albazi. I thought Brandon Moreno, quite frankly, had retired after his devastating loss to Brandon Royval. He went to Instagram and had posted that he was going to step away for a while, rethink things. He may come back, who knows. And I really took that as him retiring, which I understood because, again, the loss was pretty devastating. He put a lot into it. It was in Mexico. He came out to his theme song, which was, like literally has his name in the song. It was a very Brandon Moreno themed fight. And for him to lose that, it was a big deal, at least in my opinion. But he's back, and he's taken a fight against a tough challenge, for his first fight after a momentary hiatus in Amir Albazi. Amir Albazi, a new name on my radar. It took me a while to really research him and study him and see what I thought about him. And I couldn't really use this fight against Kai France as a perfect example of who he is as a fighter because of how close it was. So I really had to look at a previous fight he fought, which was, I think, against Davison Figueiredo's brother. And in that fight, Albazi submitted him in the first round, and he looks to have really nice ground game. And on top of that, I mean, I did have to, again, take some stuff from the Kai France fight in which Albazi fought Kai France. And in that fight, although it was close, Albazi was kind of hanging with Kaikara with the striking, on the feet. I feel like what swayed the judges to Albazi's side in a, arguable win was, Albazi's near submission attempts. Like he was closely able to get a submission on Kai France. So I feel like that was a big thing for the judges because, again, like how I see the UFC, I think judges weigh ground game, ground control, clinch work. They weigh those things heavily when it comes to decision, like split decisions and unanimous decisions. Those things are weighed heavily. Like you could still win a fight with striking, but I feel like the wrestling, the ground game, the grappling, all those things are weighed more when it comes to decisions. So that being said, it was an interesting ending to that fight, Albazi's fight against Kai France. So in this fight, I don't love Brandon Moreno's chances, and I especially don't like them looking back at his last fight against Brandon Royval, in which Brandon Moreno looked really, really hesitant, not preemptive, but he just looked real hesitant. He didn't want to go for things. He didn't really want to go for finishes at times, even though Royval was hurt for that entire fight. I think Brandon Royval had rolled his ankle or something like that, or maybe it was the leg kicks Moreno threw. I forgot what caused it, but Royval's leg was hurt for most of that fight, and it seemed like Moreno really didn't take that to an advantage at all. He didn't take that advantage. He didn't take that opportunity. He kept throwing, 1-2s. He kept looking for the occasional overhand on Royval, which he did land, but there was nothing after that. Moreno didn't really go for the finish when there were multiple opportunities to finish Royval throughout that fight. So it just looked really sad, and I can't, help but see the same version of Brandon Moreno showing up to this fight, in which he's still hesitant, not really wanting to finish his opponent, and really trying to play it safe and do just enough to get a decision or just an overall win. And you can't do that against Amir Albazi. Albazi, his record looks really good. He looks real sharp. He's no like Israel Adesanya or Michael Venom Page with the striking, but I like his spatial awareness, and he's able to hang with good strikers like he did against Kai France. So I think he definitely can hang with Brandon Moreno. Moreno's obviously going to come into the fight with better boxing than Albazi, but I think Albazi can still do things to tip the scales back in his favor, per se. So, And I especially think Albazi is going to be able to bring this fight to the ground, which is what he really needs to do against a fighter like Brandon Moreno. And that's just where Moreno really doesn't want to be. I'm not saying Brandon Moreno has shit ground game, but I think Albazi has better ground game than Brandon Moreno. So in that case, I feel like Albazi is definitely going to look to bring this fight to the ground and chase a submission. And that really leads me into what I think the result of this fight is going to be. I feel like Albazi is going to submit Brandon Moreno in the third round, so I'm going to go with that prediction. I believe Albazi will submit Brandon Moreno in the third round. Much respect to Brandon Moreno. He's a legend, certified flyweight legend. He's done, great things for Mexico, for his country, and just for his legacy as a whole, because he is beloved. And despite the loss against Royval and despite the loss he'll face against Albazi, again, he's still a legend. He goes down in the record of champions as an official champion, an undisputed champion. So that's great for him. And then, great for Albazi too, because he goes up and he makes the flyweight division more interesting, So let's see what the future holds for them. But yeah, I do have Amir Albazi beating Brandon Moreno via submission in the third round. Let me know what you motherfuckers think in the comments below. Love y'all.